You know, train hard, eat well, keep as much muscle as you can. Why wouldn't you not want that? Muscle is metabolic gold as we get older. I have seen this trend. I've seen it a lot recently. So as you all know, there's been a lot of athletes, not just bodybuilders, but athletes and regular people that have been dying, right? Various reasons. The virus that's been spreading for the last 2.5 years certainly doesn't help. Certain preventable measures that are taken against the virus don't seem to help, especially in some athletes. So what's happening? A lot of people are going, okay, I'm done, I'm scared, now I'm scared. It's like, did you not understand there are risks before, but now you're scared? Okay. It's again living through other people, because if you listen to yourself and how you're feeling, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. Everybody else could be dropping dead, or everybody else could be perfectly fine. That doesn't mean you are either going to be perfectly fine or drop dead. It just matters how you are doing on your inside. Yet people are always so quick to use other people as an example. They go, well, this guy did it and he's fine. Unfortunately, like Boston Lloyd was a great example of that. How many young men pump themselves with enormous amounts of drugs because they go, well, worked out fine for Boston. And then even when he died, people go and blame other things. They go, oh, it was this one little thing over here, it was this one thing. No, it's a behavior, guys. It's a kind of a junky behavior of always wanting to take something, to do something, instead of just enjoying bodybuilding for what it is. But then what happens? This goes on for a while and people start stopping bodybuilding. I'm stopping bodybuilding. You see it all the time on YouTube. How many people have said this? Not doing bodybuilding anymore. I'm now an athlete and I'm only doing HRT. I'm not doing my steroid cycles anymore. Because their bigorexia is so strong, probably when they look in the mirror, they do see somebody that doesn't resemble how they used to resemble. I get it. If you used to be 220 shredded, and now you are 205 lean, to you, you don't look the same. Reality is you are still one huge muscular SOB. So the people who say, I'm going to stop bodybuilding because I've got to stop taking these drugs, I'm like, you are equating bodybuilding with like junky drug taking behavior. Bodybuilding is not that. Bodybuilding is first training the body to create an adaptation for muscle growth. It is then feeding the body correctly, giving it enough water and enough sleep, and keeping your stress levels down. It's more akin to meditation in a way, because you have to keep everything calm, on track, in order to make progress. But then along came this whole drug culture, and of course drugs play a role. No one's saying differently. But people seem to forget that if you take sports HRT, let's say 200 milligrams or 300 at most per week, you're still well over double the testosterone levels of an average human. And that's a healthy, like high level average human. Plus, now that you're taking testosterone replacement, your levels are high all the time. Natural bodies have fluctuations, so you might be 700 in the morning when it's the highest, then you have a stressful day, and in the evening it's down to like 300. With TRT, even if you're at, let's say, 700 when you do the blood test, chances are if you take your shots frequently, you're at 700 at all times. That's a huge advantage over being 700 only in the morning. And I just can't really fathom why people are doing this. Do you not like bodybuilding? Do you not enjoy busting your ass in the gym? Do you not enjoy the discipline? Do you not enjoy having a regimented, successful life? Because if you can't have a successful, regimented life, you'll see some of the best bodybuilders are also great businessmen, great parents. I mean, it sets you up for success. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, it just takes planning. And then you need to do physical exercise to stay healthy. So my point is, why would you ever stop bodybuilding? Keep bodybuilding. Just don't take all those drugs if you don't want to take the drugs. And if you want to take the drugs, but understand the risk. But these people who are just like, okay, I'm done, I'm going to try and drop 50 pounds, and then they're drastically trying to lose muscle. You know how unhealthy it is to lose muscle? Legitimate muscle tissue. It's a strain on the kidneys. It's not a good thing to do. Yes, naturally you can just train less, eat less, and the muscles will shrink down. But when people try and do it in a super hurry, That's way worse than losing a load of fat quickly. That's functional tissue. That's not stored energy. That's functional tissue that you are catabolizing, ripping apart. That's not good for you. So people think they're doing something super healthy by going, oh, I'm not bodybuilding anymore. Rip off 50 pounds, super unhealthy. And then generally, you know what happens? They go like that for a year or two and they make posts about how much better life is now with balance and all of this. But in reality, they're living a terrible life. They're nowhere near as disciplined, which means they're not as happy, because happiness and discipline go hand in hand. So in the end, they get back bodybuilding and they regain their weight. Maybe not as much, but they regain some weight. You could avoid all of that by simply not having been so extreme in the first place. If you would have just dropped yourself down to TRT or sports TRT or nothing if you're younger and you're not taking stuff, which is even better. That's even better. If you can do that, train as hard as you can, you know, train hard, eat well, keep as much muscle as you can. Why wouldn't you not want that? Muscle is metabolic gold as we get older. Think how many older guys are still very muscular. Yeah, there are some. There's also a lot of guys with like big midsections, small limbs, insulin resistance, all these bad things. So try and keep as much muscle as you possibly can. That's why there are some pros that stay really jacked and really big, because honestly, once you have the muscle, it's hard for it to go away. I spent 2 years just focusing on my business, often eating once or twice a day. I'm not kidding, guys, I'm not. And I had months where I didn't train at all. Even though I've got a gym in my garage, it was super unbalanced. I was putting all my effort into business, and I basically lost maybe 15 pounds of muscle, gained about 15 pounds of fat, something like that. Body weight stayed pretty much the same, even eating very, very little. So once you have a super muscular body, guys, you've earned this. You've spent years building this up. Enjoy it. Stay with it. Tom Platz, always a huge inspiration to me. Go on his Instagram. Look how he's looking now. I think he's 66 or 67. He's back training. He looks freaking awesome. He never destroyed his body before. He took years off. He built himself back up. He's doing one last world tour. I applaud him. That's freaking awesome. That's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is for life, guys. If you make bodybuilding about IFBB pro cards, you're really missing the point of bodybuilding, because that card, it's not going to do a whole lot for you. It never did, and it especially doesn't now. So it's not like you're getting a high 6 salary paying job if you get a pro card. No, you pay for the pro card each year. So the definition of pro has to vary a little bit. If anything, it's like competitive league number 2, like the one above the first one. The first one being the MPC, which is the amateur. And you know, competing is freaking awesome if you enjoy it. And I have lots of clients that do. I have competed several times myself. I might compete again, who knows? I enjoy the personal battle. I enjoy the discipline that it takes to get from 8% body fat, which is easy for me, to like 5. That's very hard for me. I enjoy that discipline and that challenge. But for me, I will be bodybuilding my entire life. Why wouldn't I? Why would I not want the strongest, most impressive body that I can maintain? There's nothing unhealthy about that, guys. But you doing drastic ass stuff, that's unhealthy. And what's even more unhealthy is you being stressed out, going, oh, I've got to lose so much size, or something bad's going to happen. Something bad's probably going to happen, but it won't be because of the size. It'll be because of the stress you've put yourself under. There is a saying, and I don't think a lot of people understand this saying: stress is the biggest killer. It's true. It's acutely true. And the older you get, the less stress your body can deal with. So let's say if you have several days of hard stress in a row, you might have a heart attack. And no, it won't be the fault of whatever you did when you were younger, at least not entirely. It'll have been the stress. Now, what you did younger might have weakened some areas or created some kind of issues, but no, you can have acute issues. When I was 25, I had dropped 50 pounds, regained 50 pounds because I broke my spine. And then got back into training, blew back up. I ended up with AFib, atrial fibrillation. Spent a week in the heart ward, 4 weeks on medication. I needed to be cardioverted 3 times in a row. And then I had to be on medications and have tests for months. It took me at least a year to fully recover from that. All because I pushed myself too much. There was too much stress. I asked too much of my body. So don't do that. Keep yourself positive at all times. Enjoy life. And enjoy your bodybuilding. If bodybuilding is the thing you love to do, freaking do bodybuilding, guys. I love bodybuilding. I love training. Who cares if you're as big as you were when you were younger? Do you look good? Size isn't the only thing. There's lots of factors about it. It's about you controlling your body and you being the master of your own self. That's what bodybuilding is about.